The week prior to this recording, Xbox went through this crazy roller coaster of controversy in relation to the price hike of Xbox Live Gold. They reversed that decision, however, amidst all this controversy, they actually showed why another business model is more popular than the one they were trying to push people to. See as how Microsoft EXPOSED Stadia's model is better than xCloud. Yes, this is going to stir a lot of pots. Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the SDO Daily here on Stadia Dosage. Do me a huge favor before we get into this one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boy's dropping these doses. I appreciate all of y'all straight up. Y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, and y'all know the slogan. I am not too proud to ask. Let's get into it. All right, like I said in the bumper, this is gonna be a controversial one. And let me just explain to you where this came from. Couple of recordings prior, we did something called the SSC After Show. It's like the after party of the SSC podcast that we air here on this platform every week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Me and Project Storm sat, we had a very, very vigorous discussion about business models for services and things like that. And I shared with him some numbers that I think he never even dawned on before. And a lot of people haven't dawned on. And that after show is particularly locked away for our members, but you can access it. You can access it. In order for you to access it, just hit that join button below and become a member, a prescription tier member at least, and you'll be able to access that great episode. And I urge you to do it. It was the SSC podcast after show 41. Definitely watch that after this to get the full gist of that conversation. But here's what we focused on in part of that conversation there. Now, again, we know Microsoft made a lot of controversy when they essentially doubled the price of Xbox Live. On a random Friday, they just got up and said, hey, look, y'all, Xbox Live, for those that want to get 6 months or more, 6 months or more, pretty much, it's doubling. The price is going to double. It went from $30 for 6 months to $60. And at some point in time, we would believe that a year would be price hiked to $120, even though at the time they said if you renew your year's subscription right now, you're not going to see a price hike. But essentially, it was getting doubled for new members, right? It was getting price hiked for new members and those that were renewing subscriptions in less than 12 months. That caused a lot of controversy because people felt like that the move was an attempt to push people to Game Pass. I mean, if you look at the price of what Xbox Live Gold was going to be opposed to what Game Pass was for the same time periods, you might as well get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, right? But people didn't like that prospect. The internet went wild. It was bad. It was bad. It was worse than the Hutchinson thing. Remember Alex Hutchinson of the studio that does Journey for the Typhoon Studios, I believe it is. Journey to the Savage Planet, when he made controversy. But this was even worse than what Alex Hutchinson did, because Alex Hutchinson on his own spoke personally about something that was completely against what Google's against, because they own YouTube. And that was people paying to stream certain games, paying the game developers to stream their games. Google's against that, because YouTube would be no more if that was the case, right? But here you have the whole entity of Xbox that approved something controversial like that. So they reversed it and actually one-upped the community and did one better, and said that they are going to remove the paywall for free-to-play games. They didn't say when. I think they gave a time frame of, sometime within 2021, but they said that's going to be their goal. Now, in that reversal, though, they showed why the push towards the model that tethers xCloud, which is Xbox's cloud service, the model that's tethered to xCloud is actually unpopular, and why Stadia actually has the model that history shows is more successful. Yes, I'm saying it. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me get into it. Now, for those of you that are not aware what I'm talking about, xCloud, again, which is Xbox cloud service that currently is only available on phones and tablets at 720p, is their version of Stadia, basically. And people have argued that even though it's only tethered, even though with xCloud, it only has 720p, the only way to access it is to get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is their Netflix style offering, where you get X amount of games every month, a rotating library of games, and you get access to Microsoft games day and date, and you get access to xCloud and EA Play services. That in order for you to play games on xCloud, they have to be in Game Pass. So if you individually buy a game, like how you can on Stadia, you can't play it. It's kind of similar to if you can only play Stadia on your phone, if you have Stadia Pro, and you can only access the Stadia Pro game. So xCloud is very limited. So if you're a cloud enthusiast, you know what I'm saying, you really don't have a robust way to access the game, and you don't have access to your a la carte library. Now, in the reversal of the price hike to Xbox Live, which all Xbox Live offers you is access to play games, multiplayer online, and they give you free games every month. That's actually bundled in Game Pass Ultimate. Xbox Live Gold right now is $10 a month and $60 for a year. Game Pass Ultimate is $15 a month and I think $120 a year. And again, that price hike would have moved Xbox got Live Gold closer to what Game Pass's price was. And the knee-jerk reaction would have been to let me get Game Pass Ultimate. But people, and I've always made this argument that this mainstream talk that you hear about Game Pass Ultimate being such a value, that was totally disproven. That's why I said there's a definition of the word value and good deal. Like, let me give you an example. If I walk into a grocery store and I see that zucchinis, you can buy a basket of zucchinis, which may hold 100 of them for $1. That's a hell of a deal. But if I don't like zucchini, that's not a value to me. And this is what I've been trying to argue against the rhetoric, the water cooler talk about Game Pass. Game Pass is not a value unless you want to obtain it. And gamers at mass don't want to obtain Game Pass. Let me give you another example on why Game Pass, or why people just didn't say, well, if the price is so similar to Game Pass and everybody's telling me Game Pass is a value, why I don't just jump on it? Let me give you another example. Say I have a pizza shop, MM2K's Pizza Shop. Now I sell a base model pizza. It's a 12 cut pizza. It's stingy on the cheese though, but I sell it for $5. Stingy on the cheese and sauce, but you can get 12 cut pizza for $5. And down the road, I'd say, you know what? I want to give people more value. I want to give them a better deal. So then I design a 16 cut pizza that offers you a free topping. We ain't stingy on nothing, the cheese, the sauce, anything, right? And I offer that for $10. Now, people are buying it, but the cost of ingredients and stuff that I'm putting into making this new 16 cut $10 pizza is getting too expensive. So what do? I want to push more people to this $10 pizza. I really think that this $10 MM2K Extreme Pizza with the $1 with the free topping, it can really blow up. So what I do to get people untethered to the $5 pizza, I raised the price of the $5 stingy pizza to $9, right? Now, in a scenario like that, you're gonna have most people that'll look at that and say, you know what? Well, that $5 pizza, it was stingy on the sauce anyway. I was just getting it because I was hungry. For $10 to get a one-topping 16-cut pizza, that's a hell of a value to me. And that's still not a lot of money. I'm going to jump on that, right? Right, you would have that scenario happen. But you didn't have that happen with Game Pass. Why? Why was not the same proposal made for Game Pass, and why was it rejected? Because, unlike pizza, extra or more isn't always valued. See, this is where some of us, the 5%, some of the biggest mouthpieces in the gaming community, this is where we don't understand that we are the vocal minority. Most gamers do not want to play or try to beat 15, 20, 30 games a month or even a year. They want to hunker down, and statistics have shown us, we've repeated this. I don't understand why we don't understand the correlation here. History has shown us that the average gamer hunkers down to 2 or 3 games a year. That third game being something that they might experiment or tinker with, but the majority of the time, they want to just get their 2 games, whether they're 2 games or Call of Duty and NBA 2K, FIFA and Overwatch, whatever the case may be, they just want to hunker down with those 2 games a year. They might journey out and they might experiment with a third game. Now, what subscription models try to do is that third game for $60, they try to say that extra income, would you want to invest in maybe $10 or $15 a month trying this a la carte Netflix service of games? Some people have opined, but most people haven't. And what we falsely do is we look at the numbers of Game Pass, which they're nothing to sneeze at for a subscription service, a gaming subscription service, but they are in nowhere near large numbers when you look at gaming subscription models altogether. Why not? Let me give you an example. You know how we do. Let me show you something. It's a calculator, all right? So what people need to understand is that subscription models for gaming are niche. It's niche. Why do I say that? Because there are 1.6 billion gamers that subscription models have within their demographic. What am I talking about? When you look at Game Pass, when you look at Ubisoft Plus, PlayStation Now, and EA Origins or Access Origins, whatever the hell they call it, they are reaching to 1.6 billion gamers, which is a collaboration of console and PC gamers, right? 1.6 billion gamers. At most, there are 30 million subscription holders out there. You take the 18 million that's within Game Pass, and then if you go to all the other subscription services, there might be an additional 12 million. I'm being extra generous with that. It's likely less than 30 million, but I'm gonna give them a little boost. I'm gonna round them up to 30 million, okay? So let's say that at most there's 30 million game subscription people out there between PS Now, EA Origins, Ubisoft Plus, and Game Pass. Let's do the math. Let's take that 30 million. Hold on, let me do that. Let me do this. For the sake of numbers, we're just going to do, to represent the 30 million, we're going to do this. 0.030. We're going to divide 30 million by 1.6 billion gamers across consoles and PC. Let's see what we get. We get less than 2%. Less than 2% of the target demographic for the Netflix model subscription service, which is Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus, and EA Access Origins, less than 2% of those gamers have a subscription service. Now, let's take the Xbox Live Gold subscription service, the one that they tried to hike the price on and force people to go away from, to go to this niche 2% subscription model. All right, let's clear that out. See if we can clear that out, okay? Now, in order for us to get that, we know that there are around 60 million, 60 plus at least, and I'm not, and again, I'm rounding down for this. There's at least 60 million paid for PlayStation Plus people, and for Xbox, let's say there's around 40 million, okay? So we're gonna say 100 million. Let's do this. For the sake of it, I'm gonna be nice, and I'm gonna say 0.1. There's 100 million PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold subscription holders at this moment. And I'm gonna divide that by how many gamers there are altogether on consoles where Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus, their target demo. There are about 300 million gamers on PlayStation and Xbox right now that is part of the target demo. So again, 100 million paid for Xbox Live Gold, PlayStation Plus members versus the target demo of 300 million gamers. What do we get? We get over 33%. So a third of the PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold target demo have a paid for service model like that. That is not niche. So again, 2% versus a third of the target demo. If you want to bump raw numbers to raw numbers, you're talking about 100 million versus 30 million. 100 million just on 2 platforms alone versus 30 million maximum on like 4 or 5 different platforms. There is no comparison. The subscription game model right now is niche. And Microsoft overcounted their gaming collateral by trying to force people from a service where a third of its demographic is tethered to a service that only less than 2% of its target demo is tethered to. So what's the overlying thing to learn from all this? Again, I know I've said it, with so much veracity, and I've said it so many times, but again, the Game Pass model is niche. Gamers in totality don't see the value. Again, show me a basket with 100 zucchinis in it for $1. That's a great deal, but if I don't like zucchini, it's not a value to me. And with that said, Stadia did the right thing in selecting the PlayStation Plus, Xbox Live Gold model first. You can't have a niche product, which is cloud gaming, rely upon a niche service, which is the Netflix subscription service for gaming, and expect for that service to skyrocket. Even though Amazon Luna is going to give it a try, that's Amazon. Amazon is known to write big checks, let things fail, they don't care, they just move on to the next one. That's them, and I'm not saying Luna's going to fail, but everybody else is a little bit more careful with the way that they move. Amazon will write checks for anything. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll see how long that takes time for it to catch on. Now, I get it. There are porting questions about Stadia. How long is it going to take y'all to port these games? Why these games they come more rapidly and all that other stuff? But it's a new platform, and that's a completely different discussion. But what we can't expect is a new platform that started at the end of a generation that has saw, excuse me, an average of 6,000 games a year. We can't expect Stadia to match the catalog of a generation that saw, again, an average of 5,000 to 6,000 games a year. That's crazy. That's absurd. They just released it to tell into that generation. You think that they was going to have they was going to have 36,000 games or whatever? Come on now, stop it. So, if we have reasonable expectations, we know what to expect. Okay, and we know that we're not going to get that mass volume within its first year, and that's okay. Why is that okay? Xbox showed us it's okay. It took Xbox almost 10 years for them to establish themselves as a major player in the gaming division. Even though the OG Xbox was a phenomenal tool, people don't argue all the time. Halo, Halo, Halo. Yes, they had Halo, one of the biggest games of that era, and they still were getting backslapped and backjacked 24 million to 150 million consoles sold versus the PlayStation 2. So again, let's not jump off the cliff. Let's not go crazy. Let's not let every single law and plethora of games on this platform drive us nuts and have us pull out our hair. Give it some time. Ask reasonable questions, but give it some time. But one question that I think we have provided the answer to is, did Stadia select the right model with the was not going with the Game Pass model and going with the Xbox Live Gold model? And I say hell yes. Again, you can't have a niche platform try to skyrocket with a niche service. It's only bright days coming for Stadia. And with that said, that's it from your boy MM2K. Let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below, because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, the Stadia Dosage. I know this went rather long, but it was much needed that we go over these numbers and bring people to reality. That's it. Love you guys. Love you all. You all have a wonderful gaming day. Peace.